Welcome back, everyone. Here it is, the last round of the 272 359 hybrid. Finally got it where I'm pretty happy with it. So I want to show everybody what it took to get here. Alrighty, we're gonna go back into the 272 359. Need to make the throttle rod once we get the boot swapped. Well, we're gonna take all this stuff out, drain the fuel out. Got the carburetor. I knew that vinyl wasn't going to work. This is what we got. I knew the vinyl and the wire wasn't going to work long term, but this is what we got. I tried to match the diameter of these pieces to the diameter of the car, but that doesn't do us a lot of good when we're going into a square intake port. So, got a new boot that goes from round to square. We'll try that boot out. Let's get this taken apart. Let's see what she looks like. Now we can see a little bit of wear in there. Now we know how far we can widen, what we can raise, what we can do. Couple vertical marks in there. But that's all part of it. Sometimes that stuff happens. Now what I want to do with this boot, let me get that here. So you can see this boot's at a slight up angle. And our new boot definitely has a wider pattern. So what I'm going to do, we'll take this boot off. I'm going to weld onto the sides of the intake port. I'm going to weld some on the face. That way I can mill it off and put just a slight angle on there. So that's what we'll do. Get this all set up and we'll weld on it. See what we can come up with. Ground out the area, cleaned it up a little bit. Not ideal, but we'll see what we can do. So I'm going to weld up a boss right here. Same thing on the other side. We'll fill in that grinding a little bit and we'll add some to the flange. Alright, so we're going to mill this intake flange at a 5-degree angle. And I'm just going to take it down far enough for cleanup. Get a nice smooth surface on here. And we'll see what that looks like. Alright, hopefully you don't bounce around too much. Alright, so we got this all laid out. We'll get the drill lined up. We'll poke the holes through. Alright, now we'll be able to tap those, clean up the flange, get it all matched up, and we'll have a boot. Alright, so we got this one all ready. Go down. Added some finger ports, raised the uppers, blended the intake a little bit more, and we raised the exhaust. So we'll get this one stuck down. There we go. Alright, so we got the Echo boot on here. 372 carb set up. And that's even the brace for a 372 carb here. We'll get this tightened down. Didn't do any machine work. Like I said, just raised the uppers. Added the finger ports. And this new intake setup here. So it'll be all ready. Oh no. I forgot about that. I guess we're going to find out. Hopefully we can get this carb off. Yeah, we will. Whew. That saved us some frustration. Almost got worried there. I forgot to put throttle rod in. So we got to unbolt this. But that's a good thing. We know that it can be unbolted. So what we got? The Echo boot. 372 holder. It's gotta go on the carb. Had to make a linkage rod. But everything seems to fit like it needs to. Alright, with that impulse, I notched the cover. That way it'll fit right there. So we got this momentary ignition switch here that you push in. And it seems to stay just right once I have the top cover on. 372 choke. Yeah, we'll set the cover on and I'll show you. That's what we have. Ignition switch, it should stay. It should actually clip in. Choke. Just like that. Nobody's going to know. Now with the full 70cc intake, carb, air filter, everything, I do have high hopes for this actually making 70cc power now. Ported 70cc power. Ah. But we'll have to wait and see once we get it fired up. Now this has been a fun project. I've enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys have. This cylinder, this is the first one. The test one, they always end up a little uglier, a little bit rougher. It does have some marks in it. But that's all part of the process. Learning what works, learning what doesn't. Trying things multiple times. Let's make sure, yep, just like that. Right through the notch. I broke it. So from the outside, just our raggedy old 359. So hopefully that inside breathes some fire into this thing this round. Hopefully. Alrighty, here's a little bit bigger muffler mod. So these use a medium deflector instead of a small. And the holes opened up more. So we'll see if the extra outlet helps. If it does, we'll pull it back off and paint it up. And we also got an actual functional brace. Alright, so we got the muffler and we got an actual nice looking brace. So we'll get all this put on, just like so. But I think the larger carb, extra porting, and now the extra outlet area in the muffler should all make this right where we need it to be. That's what we're hoping for. Let's get that. And we'll set the brake a couple times just to make sure that that clutch is cinched on there good. Still spins. Yep. Trip it. Reset it. We'll add some fuel and make sure it fires off. Look at that. It definitely sounds a little bit better. Now we will need to get an air filter on it. So this is the Dolmar Makita 7900 air filter for the low top. And it actually fits just right. Now I will make a better gasket for it. But it goes under the top cover. Everything just like it's supposed to. Figured it out, I guess. There we go. So the Dolmar air filter fits just right. And the switch didn't rattle right out. It said it might not work during actual use, but all we can do is try. I sure like the way it looked. Well, there we have it. Just a ratty old 359. Alright, here we have it, fresh off the dyno. And I just wanted to give everybody a little bit more up close look. I was pretty excited to get down the dyno. Everything was working out good. Now, we'll take a little bit more in-depth look. And I will say I'm actually pretty happy with the power it's putting out now. Take the air filter off. That's a Dolmar 7900 air filter. take this muffler off and get it painted up looking pretty. But what do you guys think about this project? I realize getting a little long in the tooth on these. This is going to be video number 3 on the same saw. But after I first put it together, I knew it had more in it. Yes, Chinese parts, a couple issues, everything else, but from the experience I have with the Echo stuff, I knew the small carb was definitely hurting it, but I've seen pretty decent power out of the little carbs. So I had to keep going, and here we are. Finally did it. We're going to call this done. And you guys will see the graph in a minute, but I just want to talk it over with everybody, show everybody exactly what we did. And I don't know, is this a build people would be interested in buying? Like, as an option? Because pretty much have everything figured out on how to do it. What I don't know is the longevity. But like I said, we'll get this muffler painted up. Now this cylinder has a couple boo-boos in it. This is the test cylinder. To hurry up and get it done. But here, I'll bring you in for a closer look now. Alright, so here's what we have. This elbow is the low top 372 elbow. 372 Zama carb. 372 choke. And you can see down there the rubber mount for the 372. Now this ignition switch was one I liked. It's a momentary switch, so it automatically returns. And another nice thing, let me find a little screwdriver. One other neat thing is you can get to both screws from the old idle hole. Yes, it's a little more difficult to see, but you shouldn't be adjusting the saw all the time anyway. Custom throttle linkage. That's the Echo boot. That's the mount we welded on to begin with. And so this is the Dolmar 7900. I have a new filter coming, so when we actually run it, we'll use that. And I will put like a silicone gasket around here, maybe an O-ring. But this does fit pretty much like it's supposed to. We'll get that out of the way, wait for a new one. That Echo boot, I do have some other ones coming. So like I said, if people are interested in this build, let me know. It's definitely not a cheap build, even if we are using an aftermarket cylinder. It's going to be one of those things, it's all just going to depend on how many people want them. But we got the Echo boot, 372 carb ring. I might get the metal one. I believe Farmer Tech makes it. 372 Zama carb, 372 elbow, pretty much all 372 carb and elbow. The Echo boot goes from round to the square. 272 cylinder. And let's see if we can see the finger ports from this side. And there we have it. You can see the transfer and the fingers. Oh, some of that is real streaks, but most of that is oil streaks. And, come on, go in there. See, they all open at the same time. Well, like I said, once I get that new air filter, we'll test this in some wood. But for now, let me know what you guys think of this build. Alright, now we'll look at the dyno results. Alright, here's the final results. This is the latest round of porting. This was the last round, and this was the first. So you can see we're moving the right direction. Well, and we're going to call this one done for now. We're actually going to get some time on it. I need to get a bar and chain, find some more wood, get that cut up. I want to actually get some time on it before it gets sent out. But you can see we made 7.81 horse and 4.38 foot-pounds this last go. And we started with 6 horse and 3.9 foot-pounds. So you see right here, this is the very first round as it was put together. Then this was the round where I was holding the carb by hand, just trying the larger carburetor. Definitely seemed to like it. And you can see down here, this was probably something to do with the little bit smaller boot. But that smaller boot was definitely hurting the top end. You can see this latest porting and the finger ports, and that tends to be my experience with finger ports. They make it a little bit sharper of a hit right where they're working at. Now this saw is definitely going to feel better with held up in the higher RPMs. But this saw, it's definitely going to like to run up higher in the RPM. But you get your chain set up and keep everything spinning, it should really fly. But overall, pretty good increase from the 6 horse to the 7.81. That's basically like reporting the saw. But changing that intake boot, changing everything else, definitely made the improvement. Oh, and also we did a timing advance. So when we went from this light blue line to the dark blue line, we did a timing advance, added the extra porting, a little bit more duration, the intake boot, and the large carb. This run here also had the large carb. But you can see, changing the duration, adding a little bit more port time, push that power band up higher. Where this one, these two had the same port time, but this one had the small carburetor. It couldn't run out up top, so we gave it more fuel, slightly more air, where we were limited by the intake boot. And like I said, this run might not have been the greatest because the carburetor was falling off and everything else because that boot wasn't very good. But I'm pretty certain that this flat spot was the intake boot restricting it. And with that restriction, it couldn't wind out, it couldn't breathe. So we fixed the restriction, fixed the carburetor, changed the porting, and now we got this line up here. Alright, and now we'll look at this fully ported version versus the 357, just like when we did this one. And here you can see this is the stock 357 run. And this was our latest version of the porting. That's a whole different league there, which is what a 70cc saw should be. Just wanted to show the overlay versus the stock 60cc. Just because these came in the same weight, the saw should feel like an absolute animal with the new displacement and the new power. But let me know what you guys think. Like I said, these are fun builds, and I might have to get some stuff around and get some more built. But I'd like to hear from everybody, see what you guys think. Alright, thanks a lot everyone.